Hi. I'm going to use my usual blurb format to read here. My little sis has asked me a question on a birthday card I'd like to address for both my sisters and perhaps other family and loved ones as well. It invites me to share something of great personal importance. So the question was this: who has been the most important person in your life? And can you tell me about him or her? And since we rarely share, she and I, with each other on topics of any real significance, I gladly welcome the opportunity. Depending on whether we're speaking of Jesus as a person, it would be him first, then Paul, then my awesome and faithful wife Anne. But since Jesus is God, I would have to say Paul is that person. And to tell you about Paul, he most importantly was the only apostle God sent to non-Jews, of which, as you know, I am one. The other 12 apostles were all sent with instruction exclusively, the Bible says, to the Jews, and I've learned a lot from them too, of course, but Paul has since then shown us all the otherwise incredible mystery that none of the other apostles even knew about: how to rightly divide the truth about his different dispensations and who he is. And that matters a bunch. So I've been rereading, because I need reminding, every day at least 3 chapters from his epistles, which have opened the floodgates of my understanding and have been mostly darkened over those first 30-some years I was a believer. Paul's revelation forever lifted me out of the mire of confusion about popular church culture into a place where the pieces of his puzzle finally fit together. He wrote half the books of the New Testament, or 13 of 27, which forcefully now exhibit to me his qualifications. And while quick to confess I don't understand it all, enough has come clear that the basics are now in place. And I didn't discover until the 7th decade of life that Jesus actually provided the revelations to Paul that were meant to clear up the confusion about religion. People everywhere had been unclear for centuries, and still are, of course, about who God was and what he wanted of us, and finally the truth was unveiled to us in those revelations. The mainstream church today is just as ignorant as the Jews, Catholics, Muslims, and other religions that thrive on well-disguised theological deception. So it wasn't until I began to understand Paul that I finally began to get it sorted out. And that's why I have to identify him as the most important person in my life. So thanks for asking, sis, and I'll be happy to share further on the subject if you like. Love you.